And on the ground, the Air Force Chief was here to motivate his troops, and he's made an amazing statement. He told us that when he met his troops, he actually told them that he would like to see them smiling, even though 20 people had died. Because he said, like in a war, there is no option but to keep going. The roar of the helicopters over the Gochar airbase made its own statement the morning after 20 people, Air Force officers and personnel of the ITBP and the National Disaster Response Force were killed as a rescue chopper crashed. This was the sound of courage, firm, relentless, selfless. As the Air Chief touched down to meet his troops, he came with one primary message. "I want to see you all smile," he told his men. "You have to keep going, keep flying, like you would in a time of war." This morning, the luxury of grief was not available to the comrades and colleagues of those who died.
Well, anytime you lose people, it's not a good feeling. But then I think it's for their sake and the fact that we've lost these lives, we have to finish the mission and finish it right.
So even while para-commandos were dropped at the crash site and search teams set out on foot to find the bodies of those on board the ill-fated Mi-17, air evacuations had already resumed for the Badrinath Valley, pushing the boundaries of duty yet again. Sir, there is such a thing as taking too many risks. Is there any sense that you will now review the number of risks heroically that your forces have been taking to save lives? Is there a sense that the envelope of safety was pushed?
Well, all that I would say is that in the mountains, especially during the monsoon weather is always an issue. But at this point of time, we are not quite sure whether it was the weather or was there any technical problem.
The weather seemed to mock this moment of national grief. On the ground, the sun teased the hovering clouds with a rare appearance. But in the upper reaches of the Kedarnath Valley, the weather did not permit choppers carrying wood and ghee for mass cremations to land. For days now, more than 100 bodies have lain at Kedarnath. Their families will never even get to say goodbye. Rescue operations, after all, must prioritize saving those still alive. And these bodies must be cremated where they lie. But help could come from perfect strangers. We meet these volunteers who have offered to go up till Kedarnath and perform the last rites. They've already made one attempt, but their chopper was turned back by the turbulent skies. ये बताएं कि ये जो Mi-17 क्रैश हुआ है, उसके बाद लगता नहीं कि खतरा है इसमें, मतलब थोड़ा डर तो लगता होगा?
देखिए, हम लोग सिख धर्म से बिलोंग करते हैं और बचपन से ये चीज़ हमारे मन में डाली जाती है कि मौत आएगी नहीं, बल्कि जो स्थान और जगह निश्चित है हम चल के वहाँ जाएंगे।
जो ऊपर बॉडीज बिखेरी हुई हैं, ये तो नहीं है कि आप उन लोगों को जानते थे, तो आपके मन में ये बात कैसे आई कि उनको जो एक डेथ में डिग्निटी है, जो लास्ट राइट्स है, और ये भी नहीं मालूम कि कौन से धर्म के लोग हैं, क्योंकि डेथ डज नॉट डिस्क्रिमिनेट ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ रिलीजन, इट्स द ग्रेट इक्वलाइजर। तो ये आपके मन में कैसे बात है कि ये जिन लोगों को आप जानते भी नहीं है, उनके लिए आप ये करना चाहते हैं?
देखिए, जो आपदा है ये भी कोई धर्म और जाति तो नहीं देखती। अब पानी आया तो उसने कोई चूज तो नहीं किया कि मैं सिर्फ मुस्लिम को मार दूंगी या हिंदू को छोड़ दूंगी या इन दोनों को मार के किसी सिख को छोड़ दूंगी। आपदा इंसान में कोई फर्क नहीं करती, तो हम क्यों करें? वो हमारे देश के लोग थे, हमारे साथी थे, हम नहीं जानते तो क्या हुआ, लेकिन उन्हें हमारे साथ की इस टाइम जरूरत है, तो हम कैसे पीछे हट सकते हैं? वो नहीं रहे तो क्या हुआ, उनके शरीर हैं।
And so, on the one hand, there are stories of amazing courage, compassion and hope. But on the other hand, it seems to be a relentless tragedy, one of staggering intensity. And as if all this were not bad enough, there is hostility from both the air and the earth. The weather, of course, playing challenger to the air evacuations. And on the ground, landslides like the one you see behind me, repeatedly breaking down road links, leaving many families who are looking for their loved ones stranded. Many families we meet are now beginning to give up hope. In Chandigarh, one such family was rescued from Kedarnath. But today, being alive is almost of little solace to parents who have had to return home without their daughter. Ashutosh and Dimple Sharma were at Kedarnath with their 2 children and Dimple's mother when a giant wave lashed against them and swept 10-year-old Anandita and Dimple's aging mother away. The father, still a believer, even now hopes for a miracle.
जो तो हालात थे वहाँ पे, मैंने चंडीगढ़ में फोन यही बोला था कि वो दोनों खत्म हो गए है ना, और जब मैं बार बार सोचता हूँ कि भगवान के घर गए थे, आशीर्वाद लेके गए थे, उसके बुलाने पे गए थे, तो फिर नहीं मन मानता मेरा। जब तक साक्षात शरीर नजर नहीं आते, बड़ा मुश्किल है इस बात को मानना कि वो हमारे बीच में नहीं है। हो सकता है वक्त से मतलब कि सब कुछ ठीक हो जाए।
Dimple, however, a grieving mother and a devastated daughter both, has questions for the God she trekked up to worship.
सिर्फ इतना मन में भगवान के लिए गुस्सा ही आ रहा है कि उसने क्यों ऐसे दिखाया हमें, इतनी बर्बादी क्यों दिखाई हमें वहाँ बुला के, क्योंकि हम हमेशा धार्मिक जगह का ही प्रोग्राम बनाते हैं जब भी कहीं जाना हो इधर उधर, तो इसलिए भगवान पे मतलब मैंने वहाँ पे भगवान को उसके बाद प्रणाम नहीं किया, मैंने नहीं केदारनाथ जी में माथा टेका फिर इस बार। तो मुझे इतना गुस्सा आ रहा था भगवान पे कि इतनी श्रद्धा से हम आए हैं, डोल गई श्रद्धा भी, डोल गई हमारी वहाँ जाके।
The Uttarakhand tragedy unfolding in the abode of the gods has shaken the bedrock of belief. And yet, as the blades of these choppers keep turning, the human spirit still endures. In Uttarakhand with Manoj Thakur and Ruby Dhingra, Barkha Dutt for NDTV.